We are live.
Alrighty, folks, this is the 13th episode of Tell Us About Yourself. And I'm over here, of course, my buddy, Jeffrey Fox, with our special guest today. You may know him as Chugganomics, Dom Barton.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Gotta get that soda.
Fantastic.
He was too busy chugging. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How's it going up there?
You chilling?
Just chilling.
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's down as opposed to up, but you know.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh, yeah.
I forget he's Florida.
Geography. Yeah. I think
My bad.
he's really deep south. You're like a little bit deep south, but he's really deep south.
Midway.
About as deep as it goes.
Yeah.
Well, how's it going down there, I should say?
Going pretty good. Can't be complaining.
Everything's starting back up, of course. All this pandemic. I'm so tired of saying the word.
I mean, even with that, we were able to have ourselves a nice little honeymoon last week, and now we're all winding down for work tomorrow.
You've had a pretty good 2 weeks. Your wedding was actually streamed on SRG. That was awesome. Just being able to see it. We can't physically be there, but it's awesome that all this live events and stuff are seeing. And your wedding, of course, you just got through your birthday. What was it? Sunday, I believe.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, good. I forget it
My
too.
days mixed up.
Oh man, that's kind of crazy to have your wedding anniversary so close to your birthday, but it probably makes it easier to remember. So that's a plus
And
as
The
well.
goal.
Hey, your week's not over yet. I've seen where you've got an event going on this weekend. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
No, not this
Not
weekend.
this
the week
weekend,
after.
but next weekend. We
weekend
have
after.
October the 2nd.
Chugganomics coincidentally catastrophic costume contest. It's a going to be special guest referee format, but
Okay.
instead of the gimmick being added on, both characters' finishers are getting replaced.
Wow. That's going to be interesting. And one topic I was wanting to get in with you today, I was on, the compound last night, DeMello, and which Bombada actually showed Shaggy Sharp, or actually showed Bombada. I'm sorry about that. And they got into talking about her gimmick and how it was, it was different and stuff. And they were asking me what I had thought about it. And I was going to tell you, I don't know if you saw it last night, but I actually used Chugganomics as an example. As, different gimmicks that you don't normally see in this game, and new, techniques and different ways of, playing. And I find your character I find it really cool. I've been playing for 4 years. I hadn't seen anything like it. And to me, I just wanted to build it as soon as I got it, just to check it out. And I was wanting to go in. What was your process of making it?
So originally that was nowhere near the gimmick I had for Chugganomics. Originally it was Dangerous Dylan Bias's gimmick.
Okay.
And then Dangerous Dylan Bias took it from underneath me, thankfully. We had a couple more discussions at locals between me, Mad One, my husband, and all that on what would make a good, different sort of gimmick. And Ray, coming from Yu-Gi-Oh background, I can't remember the name of the card, but he recommended playing with like decks upside down. And I like that idea a lot. I was like, that's really different, and that's not really. I wanted Chugganomics to be a character whose gimmick wasn't necessarily beneficial to just him. I wanted him and the opponent to be playing a different game entirely. So that eventually, manifested itself into top card of the deck being flipped instead of the whole deck, because that would have been way messy.
I like the mentality of it, though. And like you said, it's kind of like I want to call it kind of like a 50-50. You can see what your opponent is about to draw, and then eventually, I mean, you can see the hand and stuff like that. It's just, to me, the mental game is what makes it so unique.
Yeah, I do believe he is the first knowledge-only competitor.
I believe so. To be honest with you, you've got to be the first. And your finishes and everything, the process. How did you come to Steve with that gimmick?
So some of them were easier than others. The botch chug, I actually didn't think I was going to get, because I thought that would have been too out there of an effect. But he was all on board for it, because it's all mutual with Chuggy. If he's hurting you, he's hurting himself. He's taking part in the fun all as well. So botch chug, that was the hard point, I would say. Down the hatch, that was a simple, both players get the effect. Pour one out was actually nowhere close to that effect. Originally, the effect that I had pitched was that Chugganomics does your finish, or does your breakout roll, and your opponent rolls the finish. So it's like he's trying to help you wake up. But that one was a little hard to word. So after speaking with Brain, we thought of a little mini game that you could play with discarding the cards. And it took some convincing for Boston on that one, but we eventually got it.
That's cool. We have a question from the Twitch chat already from one Hold the Line, Harry. The question is, did Chugganomics the Clown exist before Super Show as a character?
So originally it was during the CCC Chugganomics, which was based off of a World of Darkness character that I used to play with my little brother, Kylan. He's not here at the moment, but
Malkavian?
Originally our gimmick was his name was Silence, 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 and I was Violence as announcer.
Okay.
And we were two juggalos in a post-apocalyptic universe.
Okay.
And
that's awesome.
that was sort of where that came from. And then we incorporated the Fago into it, which was the whole soda aspect. And then it sort of moved on to Reverend helping me mold it into just a soda-obsessed clown. And then we got the Fiend Park and all that going. Yeah. It's all great right now. But yeah, he did not exist beforehand.
Okay.
I'll be right back. My car's going off. Give me 1 second.
All right. Well, I'll ask a few questions while you're gone. So you touched on World of Darkness. How do you feel having the background in a legitimate role-playing tabletop game, as opposed to some murder hobo games out there, has helped you with developing your character and whatnot when coming to Super Show?
Well, I game mastered for multiple World of Darkness campaigns, and I've played tons of characters in that, and it's sort of helped me mold these strange personalities that I can just ease into very quickly. Yeah. Like, Chugganomics is definitely not the first of my many crazy personalities.
Sorry about that, fellas. It was actually my wife that did it.
Well,
that ain't
right. All right. So you have another question, Dustin?
I just came in and you were talking about like different personalities.
Yes. World of Darkness, I DM for long campaigns, like spanning multiple different books. Like we incorporated Vampire, Promethean, all the crazy nonsense of World of Darkness. And I've played quite a few crazy characters that have kind of stuck with me through and through. And Chugganomics is one of the ones at the top now. He's sticking.
As you know me, I love different alter egos, I guess you can call it, which I have 2 of them. So, I mean, that's right up my alley. I think a lot of it, I know for me, watching Mick Foley back in the old days of, wrestling, I think alter egos is I think it's a cool way to go. Um, do you think, will we see a different, maybe, personality?
I think somewhere down the line, I will be making one of my World of Darkness personalities in the game. It's a man by the name of Zachariah Briggs. He's let me see if I can get the voice down. There's a really old 50s man. Not very healthy, but he gets out there.
And I asked that because you're talking about the darkness. I was actually wanting to ask you because I didn't know if Chugganomics was more of I guess you can call it either a heel or a good guy. And
it's a good question.
I've always wondered that.
I mean, I guess it really depends on how much you like soda.
Yeah, it's he's in a weird state at the moment. He is a face that does many heel things. We have a couple storylines where he is questionably paying his staff, and Oklahoma may or may not have his soda. He has zero proof on if his production line is even hindered at this point.
I'm sure they still.
Of course,
soda.
He's also missing multiple payments to the Butters Kingdom.
I've got to ask you, what's his favorite soda?
So
it's like picking children, man.
It is rough. Hands down, my number 1 is Faygo Rock and Rye. It's not easy for me to get, but when I get it, it is hands down best soda out there. I don't actually put a lot of Faygos in my top 5, though.
I'm not actually going to complain about them. I used to get them at the grocery store a lot back when, back in high school when I worked at one. And I actually like their cola.
They're not bad.
And they're cheap. I mean, I think down here, or, where I'm at, it was like 50 cents, $1 for 2 of them. I mean, come on.
An easy second is root beer, even though I drink this way more often.
It's always a Dr. Pepper man myself.
I try to stay off the dark sodas. Just a little, not very well.
I've never actually had Faygo myself because it's not really sold around Philly, or in Philly, I should say. But yeah,
it is hard to find in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. We're very big into our major producers since we have all the distributors nearby. So
here as well, it seems like it's more in the mom and pop areas.
Yeah, well, it's big Midwest drink, originally Midwest.
It's hard for me to find down here in Florida too.
Yeah.
Publix actually just discontinued their Rock and Rye in the glass bottles, so I am struggling.
And I was going to ask you too, how long have you been in the game, and how did you first learn about it?
Let's see, SRG. I have been in the game since not last WrestleMania, but the WrestleMania before that. Picked it up just randomly going to House Rules Gaming one day. Like, okay, this is a big WrestleMania. We're going to hit up all the wing houses. We're going to try and find where we can find this at. No one down here was streaming any WrestleMania. I was like, all right, we're screwed. We're going to be watching this at the house. Everyone's going to be mad because we're being rowdy and loud. I'm like, there's this place called House Rules hosting it. I'm like, let's go down and play, or let's go down and watch some WrestleMania. And then from there, Savoy was like, all right, demo. Okay. It was Gold Standard versus Warehouse. And his Gold Standard deck is ridiculous. Still.
We do have a question from the chat.
Okay.
If they would like to ask. I don't know if they're going to video or just on mute.
Audio's fine.
Okay.
Hey, Chuggy.
Hey!
You were talking about your World of Darkness background a little bit earlier. I played at Georgia Tech and University of Georgia throughout the 90s. Did you ever get a chance to try the greatest creation of White Wolf, the Street Fighter RPG?
I have not. I want to get my hands on it, though.
No.
Dude.
No?
Horrible game.
How dare you?
God, I hate
I am
that
willing
game.
to try anything.
We played World of Darkness at Georgia Tech with Street Fighter included.
Okay. That was actually a book not in my lineup.
Hurts my heart.
I have almost all of them pirated.
We have to talk about that sometime. That's a lot of fun. But I had to throw that out there.
Okay. I'm gonna take a look on it. See if I can get a handle on that.
There's a fan-made compilation. If you look up Street Fighter 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary, I don't remember if it's 20th or 25th. That's free online. It just doesn't. They don't have the art in it, but they've got all the rules and everything else compiled from many of the
Street Fighter,
books.
the storytelling game.
Yes.
I'll take a look at it.
I hated that game. All right, we have another question. I mean,
dare you?
I bought it when it was brand new. I think I have it ripped up somewhere. Not ripped up because I hated it so much. Ripped up because I had a cat who ripped it up. But all right, we have another question from the chat. Let's get off that stupid game. All right, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, sir. Anthony. Anthony.
You might be asleep.
No,
Well, you didn't say who.
you were the only one with their hand raised, so.
Okay. Chuggy!
What's
What's
up,
going
kiddo?
on?
How you doing?
Good. All right, I'm going to ask you the question I ask everybody. Give your top 3 favorite male wrestlers of all time and top 3 favorite female wrestlers of all time.
Okay, let's see. I mean, right off the bat, Pete Dunne, number 1. Always and forever, he will be in my heart.
Cruiserweight.
My number 2 is actually Enzo.
Yes,
As spicy of a pick as that would be. And then third has to be Kofi Kingston.
Cool.
Female wrestlers. There's a few of them I like. Piper Niven. I do kind of like Nia Jax, even though she is horrible at wrestling. And I can't remember. Oh, we'll go with Naomi. There we go.
All right. Cool. Thanks, man.
I gotta say, those are some interesting picks. I kind of like it because, some of them, wrestlers that you mentioned hadn't really, Kofi, he had his championship run, of course, but some of them, a lot of people overlook.
Yeah, Enzo was forced out of the game right as he was, making his, big debut singles and all that. His whole... His overselling was amazing.
I felt like, because I was a big fan of him, of course, him and Cass, and I feel like soon as they split up, I was like, I wonder how long they're going to keep him. I was so worried about that.
He was holding the cruiserweight division until there was no more cruiserweight division. Maybe if he was around, we'd still have that.
It's so weird how it just sputtered, out, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so weird. The Cruiserweight division, the Cruiserweight Classic was built on work rate. And WWE's main programming, when you got 205, is not about work rate. So, you had the people who wanted the work rate were trying to watch it, and then Enzo came in. And while that was great for the people who liked the normal WWE program, it wasn't enough to keep the people who liked work rate.
Keep it afloat. Yeah.
So you lost the work rate people, and then when you lost Enzo, you lost everyone else. So, yeah, it's you lost everything in there because I mean, if they would have stuck with the one, they would have kept it the whole way through. But hey, they gotta do what they gotta do. I mean, it's WWE for you. No, I mean they could have a crazy, insane work rate show if they wanted to. But especially with the bruiserweight, that's someone who, for 1 week was announced that he was going to be a member of Raw, and then they never did it again. He was brought on the show one time. Oh, we got him to Raw now, and then they sent him back to NXT and NXT UK, and never to be seen again. Such a waste.
It is.
Such a waste.
And there's so many of them they've wasted on. I mean, I was looking forward to EC3. I mean, what happened to that?
He had a really bad botch in the ring when he first came back up to the main roster, and they lost trust in him. Yeah. It's one of those things. Some people only get one mistake, and he was one of them. Because he had a problem with. Also, right after that, he got into an argument, I think, with Moxley, or Ambrose then, but and they had a pretty bad program for a little bit, so. Because they were going to use Dean Ambrose leaving to help elevate EC3, and they decided not to. Yeah.
I was also gonna kind of get into a little bit. How was your virtual Grand Gathering weekend?
My honeymoon was great. Hit up Kennesaw, did a little hiking, went to the aquarium, Coke factory.
Oh man,
and we got to play some live games with Harry, so it was amazing.
I think there's an Oklahoman who's really happy to see the Coca-Cola branding.
I'm not gonna lie to you, aquarium. I am like a kid. I will we'll be going through an aquarium or something, and I've got to look at every glass.
It's amazing.
Which, closest one to us is which we've got one in Kentucky, Newport, or I've also, Ripley's Aquarium at the Smokies, and that's a really fun one. They've got penguins now and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool.
All right. Speaking of questions, we have hold on a second. Let me turn that off so it's not too messed up. So we have a question from the Twitch chat.
Okay.
I was told it doesn't necessarily need to be on camera, but why not? So when the person first heard of you, they thought you had something to do with Inner Circle because of the chugga chugga catchphrases. Who came up with their thing first, and is this the only person that's ever thought about that?
Interesting.
I mean, chugga 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 came first, but I made it better.
Love the answer.
Yeah. That's fair. You definitely did make chugga 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 better. Yeah. I mean, you proved, unlike them, that you can pretty much chug anything. Yeah.
Just you wait. There's a couple more coming up down in the future.
Not sure. Gonna
wait till Thanksgiving.
You basically showed them a real chugger, and just showed that they are chumps.
Yeah.
My book. So I'm proud of you for that.
Oh fuck!
I'll record it for you.
Oh, you fucking better.
And we have a background audience.
It's always 2 for the price of 1.
It's technically 3 for the price of 1 if you catch me at the right time.
Oh man.
Jeff, do we have any more questions or?
There doesn't seem to be any hands raised in the Zoom, and nothing on Twitch at the moment. So.
Alrighty.
What y'all doing? Trying to cut me off early?
Oh God, no.
No. I'm a talker. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, what are some of your? I know you mentioned earlier, it was Gold Standard versus Warehouse. Were you warehouse or gold standard?
I was warehouse in that case, and I got absolutely destroyed, and I have not played warehouse since. But I mean, I've considered him in my roster at some point, but at the moment, I've got my solid picks at the moment. Experimenting a little bit.
The warehouse, his gimmick is really good. Just memorizing, keep memorizing their hand. For one, you've got to row a 10, submission a lot, which I could switch a competitor that has a power 10 and a 5 submission row, 5 submission all day. But if I was to go to warehouse, I have no gimmick.
I hate roll to hit so much. I try not to build it at every point, ever.
A lot of my choices, like competitor-wise, I like for the opponent to mess up. If that makes any sense, like me rolling, and if they roll a certain thing, it hits. Oh my god!
My top 3 at the moment are different. So, Chugganomics, Mike Riot, and Cannoli.
Right.
I will mark for Cannoli anytime.
Yeah. Speaking of Cannoli, he has another question.
Bring him back in.
Yep.
So you kind of stole my question, like he steals everything there, that GPS. Oh, now I'm gonna lost your questions. You got me off. I'll come back. I'm losing it right now.
Okay.
Sorry, I interviewed you.
We did practice site in the chat did say no questions equals for the rest of the time. Chuggy will be GMing a one-shot World of Darkness game for us, and practice site gets to use Street Fighter. Oh man!
Well, I've used all the books into one campaign before.
Oh man!
I swear, as much as we've been talking RPGs the past couple of weeks, we will get paid for this.
I don't know if I want to be on their payroll, but
yeah, true to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes to show that there is a deep overlap into being a role-playing type competitor in Super Show and having that background in tabletop games. I mean, you consider tabletop card games in general have an overlap with tabletop role-playing games, and it's pretty easy to have that link. Cannoli has his hand raised again, so maybe this time he actually has the question.
I won't talk. I won't steal his question.
I've got the question. Chuggy.
What's up?
I know you're an avid gamer, video gamer.
Yes.
What are some of your I don't know, like give me like five of your favorite video games of all time.
Okay. Final Fantasy VIII, Fallout New Vegas, Disco Elysium. I very much enjoyed that game. I still play Team Fortress 2 to a frightening degree. 5. What's the kicker? Radiata Stories, PlayStation 2. Vague pick. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't.
Not familiar, but sounds interesting.
I play so much TF2 that I have a Chugganomics loadout.
Sweet. That's cool, man. And yeah, guys, Chuggy, he streams too.
I do stream.
About that. All right. Thank you, Chuggy.
Yeah, thank you.
How often do you stream?
I used to stream games a lot, but I never got too many viewers. So at the moment, I'll stream SRG matches if I get the opportunity. I stream Hearthstone Battlegrounds a lot because my ranking's in the top 5% of the world at the moment. But again, I don't get many views. I just stream to stream whenever the internet allows for it.
And I was going to ask y'all too, or ask you too, I should say. Have you been able to play locally much? Gaming wise.
Every Sunday we play at House Rules. We have our locals normally. We sanitize, mask up, do everything we
for
can.
house rules.
Yep.
I will
And then,
always give a plug for them. Awesome store.
We also have like half the House Rules roster in this one tiny house, so that helps.
That's awesome.
Definitely have some different decks down here in Florida.
Yeah. The Hidden Threat says he loves TF2 as well.
Ah,
Just notice that one. All right, we have another question from Jeremy, and hopefully not his evil roommate. And hopefully his roommate didn't hear me call him evil.
Oh, he's not here.
Oh, okay.
Before I ask the question, I'll just show this to Fox so that he can recoil in horror.
Hey.
Now that Fox has recoiled in horror, so you're the general manager of the Florida area. How is that? How does that go on a week-to-week basis, and how much fun is it wrangling that cast of characters?
I mean, I handle our like week-to-week tournaments. Savoy and Amish Assassin actually handle the nitty-gritty, finer like numbers and all that. I'm mostly organizing players, handling rulings, trying to speed things along and get extra matches done. And then as GM of Florida, I'm mostly looking to give away decks at every opportunity I can for new players. So that's what I just try and push. And I think at the moment, I think I'm also I'm one of the admins for the Deep South, trying to get that rolling more consistently.
Yeah, I tried to steal the belt from Harry, but he was watching me, so it didn't work.
And of course, as GM of Florida, is also my responsibility to job out as many of my titles as I can. That's why I lost my 24/7 Florida title to a New Yorker.
Oh.
That was a fun night.
That's still the only title that Uberstar has ever held, which is hilarious.
I mean, it depends on the New Yorker, too. Some of them
Tempted
are nice.
to lose my tag team belt to a New Yorker as well.
All right. Can I throw in one more question while I'm
Sure.
here?
Go ahead, buddy.
Did you ever see this one?
I have, and I've actually tried planning a campaign around that one.
Oh, no. We had one for 2 years up in New York. It was fantastic.
I was considering doing a wrestling campaign with SRG as the combat.
Yeah, I would. When we do a grand gathering, I'm gonna build some pre-gens that are the SRG like core characters and the characters of anyone who expresses interest, and I'm gonna bring that for one of the nights.
I will definitely be down for that.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
And you was talking about being a GM, and you know you were talking about playing it forward, giving out decks and stuff like that. Of course, I love that stuff. Play it forward is a major impact, and I think that you know you're doing that, and what you were talking about, kind of what you do as a GM. I think that really shows really good leadership. I think if you're going to have the title of a GM, you know, all in favor. Whether you know, I've actually seen these questions before. Some people have asked, well, what if this GM doesn't like me? And you've got to think in a wrestling mode, you got to put yourself as a GM. You got to be fair unto others, get everybody, you know, involved.
Yeah.
And I think it's extraordinary when I talk to a guy like you, and you're doing these things and you're being a leader, and that's a really cool thing that you're doing down there.
Definitely trying my best.
Yeah. I mean, the game really needs good examples of GMs in it, unlike GM Calais. So it's good to have a good GM down in Florida to lead
I'm
the way.
Impact. We don't like them guys.
He was he told me there's no way I was making top cut in Faction Wars. He was mean. Oh, it was funny. All right. So no questions on Twitch. Sorry, I'm bumping back and forth. But Practice Site also did say, as much as we've been talking RPGs, we should start a campaign because
I was considering starting one, but it's hard finding that time slot.
Yeah, definitely. It is definitely hard finding time slots right now, especially with how much super show is going on during this pandemic for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I got a free night. Oh, wait, there's a tournament? Oh, I don't got a free night? Oh, I don't have a free night. Oh, wait, there's still a tournament?
Tell us about yourself with me.
Hey, we'll wave. Hey, what's up, buddy?
This is Silence, Silence, Silence. The Filipino heat himself.
Wow, that was pretty silent. I'm just kidding.
All right.
But
Okay.
what are some things you're looking forward to? I mean, I know this year's we talk about all the time. It's crashed. You know, there's not much. You know, we can do. You know, virtual grand gatherings. We've had 2 of them. What are some of the things that you're looking forward towards next year?
I'm looking forward to whatever the next Kickstarter may be. Yeah, I definitely want to get in on that. I have my 2 trios in the pipeline that I'm itching to play because trios is my favorite format. And mostly characters down the line. Hoping for tag teams, making Paradise a trio, recruiting more people for Paradise, and making a party out of it.
Yeah, I think you know next year. I think we're all just ready to just have these big get-togethers. I'm going crazy here. I mean, I'm doing events online, but it's nothing like seeing everybody. And
Yeah.
Oh, no. Shouldn't say the word everybody too loud.
Oh yeah.
You never know when.
My best buddy here.
You don't want to get trapped in a table match again, man. Be careful with that.
I love the Lariats. It was amazing.
I mean, I should mention that we did see some awesome art on a trio you have coming out.
Yes.
And it's
Happy birthday.
Yeah, how did that come about?
A strange fever dream of mine. Just woke up one day, just looked over to Robert. He woke up, was like, yeah, I got a trio idea. Like, I'm bringing the soda. Sherry Von Danish is bringing cake. And then we have Mr. Pop and Twist with the balloons. So, why don't we just, like, mash it all together? And, oh, look, this is all the core components of a birthday party. Happy birthday!
I find that really interesting, which, you know, we had Pop and Twist on here, and you mentioned it to him, if I ain't mistaken, on our show, that to get him in on that. And I think it's a really entertaining trio. I can't wait to see what, you know, the cards and everything's going to do.
If I get the effects I asked for, it's definitely going to be a different sort of trio.
Sounds like one hell of a party.
I mean, look at the balloons in the background. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah. I believe Rev already spoiled the other one as well. I think I have that one even on here.
I know he had mentioned it. I don't remember like ever seeing the picture of it.
I can pull it up for you. Maybe I'll show you. I have so many pictures. There we go.
Interesting. Oh, that's cool.
There's a guy in my background.
So it's another trio.
There's a quad there for a second.
You saw it here first.
Yeah, that art. I saw the mocked up version of that art.
Oh yeah, I have
to
the.
some
That's
extent,
like one of my favorite things.
To some extent, I kind of want that as a card. I mean, I'm starting to. Some people in this community are doing mock-up art.
There we go.
Yeah, that's that's just an amazing mock-up art.
I made this one myself.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Oh, that's great.
But seeing what it came out, it did turn out really well too.
Oh yeah, the new trio artist is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna be losing Dustin's attention in a minute or so.
It's every time, like in a Zoom room, I gotta look over at the TV to see what they're playing.
What are we playing today, Andrew?
Just gotta put some YouTube
from already.
He's watching YouTube today.
And then,
And then
I don't know, Division or Gears of War 2.
Division or Gears of War 2 today.
So,
Okay.
You'll see it in the dojo tonight.
you gotta be on there in that room for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll see a video, man. I gotta go get beer first.
Makes sense.
Seen a few playthroughs on my camera.
You know, see, normally I don't get distracted by the games in the background, but because Dustin made such a big deal about it, it's like, let me look at the TV in the background. And it's just ruining my attention.
My bad.
Like now I'm trying to see it through Dustin's glasses.
Every show I'm gonna be like this. Hey, what are you playing, buddy? You know.
Oh man.
Start looking at his pop figures over there. Oh.
Oh, there's tons of them. I got a couple new ones too.
I just had to stop. I had to just slow down on those.
About how many pops do you have in your collection?
Let's see. More than I can count.
See, for me that'd be like
It's worth
7.
currently $1,600.
Wow.
Oh Lord.
I mean,
And
as someone who
300 of that is just 2 pops.
as someone who knows nothing about pops, I have no reference of what a individual pop is cost. So like, $1,600.
And
It
there
sounds
are 2 men
impressive.
in this room.
But yeah, that is impressive. I mean, me, like, not being a pop person, my eyes normally drift to the Snorlax.
Oh yeah,
Pokemon,
we
like,
got
'cause that's
that
like-
would be my husband's
Oh wow.
thing,
Yeah. Oh no, let's not. Oh no. Oh no.
all the
sorry.
way up there.
Don't let the cheetah see them. He
He'll challenge you.
I got a few offers for the Snorlax already, and I have to keep telling them no.
I mean, I don't know many Pokemon, but I know that one because that one kind of lives the same lifestyle that I like to. Just be big, sleepy, and in the way.
So I going back to your character, how'd you get into the clown thing? Just
Off the top of my head,
I like it.
I figured, we don't have a clown in this game yet, and I've been playing for, I think, a few months at that point. I'm like, why don't I be the clown? Yeah, just kind of stuck.
And I'm glad he's a good guy too, because we have the freak show, the psychos.
Yeah, no, originally the storyline was, like, against the freak show. Like, they took over his clown wrestling faction and essentially drove him to be poor. So, like, oh, man.
Actually, I like that storyline. I like that
Clown from the
thinking.
ghetto.
Alright. Yeah.
I like that way of thinking. Like you're basing 2 different, characters that's already been made, which freak show. But I like that. I like that you think those through, storyline wise, and making your character.
I come from a heavy role-playing background, so I try and get as fanciful as I can sometimes.
Like, there's a skateboarding game going on in the background, and every time he gets hit by a car, I'm like, oh, like, and it's all because of you, Dustin, because I would have paid 0 attention to it, but now it's like I can't not.
See, you're talking about RPGs and stuff like that. Before I got into Super Show, I was a big gamer. So, like, what I mean by is, controller.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Sorry, Jeff.
No, it's fine. It is definitely fine. It's just one of those things where it's like, normally my attention wouldn't be toward it at all, but like, since it was mentioned, it's like, now I can't unsee it. But, oh man, it looks like we have a Oklahoma spammer in the chat. Twitch chat
Uh-oh.
saying that like Chugganomics is a fraud and don't visit Paradise. There's there's a lot of bad spammers from Oklahoma. I don't know why they would say things like that.
Lakers
Yep.
stealing all my sugar coal.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
As you should.
One of these days.
Coming from Oklahoma, I would just said too soon.
Oh man.
Ugh.
But so I
They're
mean,
all swell people down there.
they're okay people. I mean, anyone who steals soda from people is just, there's just something wrong with that. I can't get behind those soda thieves.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Rotten.
Yep. No, it's just horrible. So speaking of let's go into storylines like that. Obviously, the Oklahoma faction is mostly all new players and whatnot. Newer than you, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Is the fact that they're new and you can help bring more attention to them and their playstyles one of the reasons why you wanted to start a storyline with them?
So originally, I got invited to Oklahoma Stampede because they thought I lived in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then I just sort of stuck around their group as they did all their playing and all that. It eventually molded itself into,
Wait, you don't live in Oklahoma?
they're new. I don't live in Oklahoma. I'm just chilling, looking to play some games. And I was like, yeah, this Tyree guy is pretty cool. You guys want to have a storyline? And it sort of went from there. We're still technically in it. It's just a matter of
schedules.
scheduling.
Yeah, scheduling and intention. One of the things I think that when I first came in, and some of the and as a new player, but some of the other new players might have missed it, was OAW, that bell ran.
Yeah.
Something like that is probably a bit missing in the whole. I think when the pandemic's over and there's not as many online tournaments, a feature show that helps feature these national feuds and things like that would probably be useful. Instead of tournament after tournament after tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. All work rate.
We had a couple of things going on, but Tyru, he's been busy lately, and I haven't been wanting to bother him. So I think it's a storyline that can wait till we can get in person, and then, I'm trying to push for a 1 versus 3. Just me against all the bootleggers.
I mean, that's not really fair for them. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there need to be at least
We'll have to go easy on them.
5 or 6 of them to take on one Chugganomics.
Yeah.
But
And what you're talking about, storylines, actually physically being there to play. I've always done those challenges, and I got to play Ito. We were talking about the tables match earlier. I get where you're coming from, to where it's better, to meet in person when you're in character. It seems like it's 10 times more fun. And a lot of these guys that I've challenged in the past, I've never met before. So it's awesome seeing them in character, and try to build it up. And hopefully in 21, we can get there.
Open.
Yeah. 2020 has been a year of time off from that stuff. And most of it is desperately needed, the fun and back in the game. Instead of just all about competition. Yeah. Right now, Super Show's all work rate and no storyline.
I like a little flair.
Yeah. All right, guys. We got about 8 minutes left until 7:30. So if you got some final questions, please send them forward. Be much appreciated. And again, in the Zoom, you can raise your hand to ask a question, or just type it out on Twitch. Give you a few minutes, Dustin, if you got a couple questions while we wait to see if anyone has any more questions.
All right. He's putting on the Coke hat. I gotta get me a Dr. Pepper one. But what are some events that you're sort of thinking about making? I know we were talking about your event before, the Chuggies and stuff like that, and this one that's coming up is going to be a little bit different. What are some ideas you've had?
I'm trying to become the king of no style, so I'm looking to do as much zero stop as I can in the future. And even now, I'm still looking for more competitors to add into that little roster. Other than that, it's just, sling them as I see them. Like, the costume contest was just an idea that I got after a long day of work, and I just thought it out in my head as I drove home, and it's like, pitch it right now.
I do the same thing. It's like the U.S. belt. I was sitting at work just randomly thinking, what do we not have in Super Show?
Fantastic. I love the U.S. belt, and I cannot wait to play for it.
Yeah, and potentially be the inaugural champion. I could, yeah, it'd be nice to be. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would take really bones if I said it automatically.
Yeah.
Especially like all of his buddies, like they don't tend to. Impact doesn't tend to accept that other people are challengers for things. I mean, that's how they're trying to hog all the title belts.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chuggy, are you going to be with us Saturday? Wasn't sure if you had signed up or not.
I'm signed up.
Okay. Also, folks that are watching, if you haven't yet, and you've already signed up, send me your competitor that you're using. Just talk about the event. I'm not going to talk about the event much, but I just wanted to point that out real quick since we were talking about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
And I gotta give props to Jeff here. If it wasn't for Jeff, I wouldn't be able to do the show or even do Saturday's event. I mean, I am terrible at this.
I mean, you got your computer to work. That's all that was a good first step. It was a good first step.
Yeah, I finally found the cord that KSW had plugged into my router. They were hot wiring, so I cut that.
You are the only internet source for Kentucky. Makes sense.
King of the internet, I guess.
All right. So if you have any final questions, it doesn't look like anyone has got their hands raised or Twitch chat. So, Dustin, if you got a few final questions for our guests.
Currently, I know I've asked several. And I'm not looking at the TV. I'm trying to think. I'm kind of thinking about, I was asking you about your events and ideas and stuff like that. I'm looking for, I'm sure you're going to do it because you already wear the honker, I call it, the nose, But are we going to expect a costume anytime soon?
Anytime soon, no. In the future, yes. We're looking for me and Ito to get our full setup carved out, but that's something I'm gonna need tailored. I think that petticoat is pretty different.
You gotta make sure Ito is okay first, because I saw where he posted in our comments here that he's still hurting from that table match, so might need your help.
Felt more like a Lariats from Hell match, but
3 stages of lariats.
Yeah. Hey,
Doubt throw a lariat.
Hey, but it was probably one of the most memorable, if not the most memorable match of the year so far. So, you're
quite possibly.
Even if you did something wrong, you sure did something right to get that much attention.
I was kind of thinking a while ago. We were talking about your. You showed the. I can't remember the trio's name, but I know it's the. You kind of announced it as the birthday party.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
That would be cool to actually have. I was thinking of a stipulation, kind of like the freak show's got the psycho circus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We could have a birthday stip.
It's a happy fucking birthday. You're a big one. You're fucking Dracula.
I mean,
maybe at some point. I might be down for some stipulations.
sorry, I got distracted by the variation on the NoFX Happy Birthday song. Happy Birthday song. So,
It's not every day we get serenaded, Jeff.
I mean, hey, my favorite birthday song is the NoFX new Happy Birthday song, so that was right down my alley. But yeah, it was a good day for us to get distracted, I think. But all right, so got about a minute left. Any final thoughts from either of you? Anything you want to mention that we didn't cover, Chuggy?
It's okay,
Chuggy's along
Jeff.
for the ride.
Yeah.
At this time, I can't think of anything, on top of my head. I know I've asked all kinds of several questions and stuff. I think I'm currently Anthony Perry right now.
Yeah. So you're
I guess-
a good guy who sometimes forgets a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I could answer is if the garbage chug was real.
Like, there was a question that one didn't need to be answered. Like, I was like, when we were talking about chugging earlier, I'm like, well, hopefully no one brings up the garbage chug. And I was like, and we're going through the whole event. And I'm like, cool. It never came up. I don't have to relive the horror of that in my head. And now,
It wasn't the worst one.
I mean, you say things like that, but like, I don't know how. Like, I mean, not even just taste wise. Like, I understand things might taste worse, but like when just as when a sanitation level, like that had to be the worst. Like,
Yeah, that was the worst sanitary one, but the Bondit apple chug, that was the worst.
Yeah.
I actually nearly vomited on that one.
Worse than the garbage?
Yes, it was worse than the garbage.
Yeah.
I hadn't even had supper yet.
I can't even. I'll spare you the trouble.
oh man, that's just, yeah. He's definitely trying to spare you the trouble of having dinner because it wasn't
Thank
going to
you,
stay
Lee.
down.
I just wanted to see it one time, not twice. My food, that is.
That's,
Whew.
most people should do it.
Oh man. All right. Well, Practice that he's saying he actually likes the Mondet. If he wasn't diabetic, he'd have taken the apple soda you didn't want at Sunshine Smackdown.
Yeah, I had one there that I was gonna mix into GM Calace's swamp juice if he decided to be bad about it. But he was a good sport, so we gave him the easy mix, and then I chugged the exact same thing afterwards.
Ooh.
In the background while no one was watching.
One for him, one for you. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. This is great. I mean, I had fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Sorry, video games again. But yeah. So Dustin, you want to talk about our next guest or anything before we say goodbye for the night?
Yes, I was wanting to cover that real quick. Our next guest for next week is going to be James Hand.
Oh.
He's been around for a while, or should I actually call it JHP, James Hand Productions, is going to be here with us next week. Also, folks, as I mentioned earlier about Saturday, the U.S. Championship that's going on. Please send me your competitor, and so I can jot it down. With it going up to 64 now, it is going to be diversified. Chuggy, I'm looking forward to having you, and it was awesome having you on the show today. You talking about being a GM and stuff like that, it really meant a lot to me. I think you don't really see a lot of that. You know, you don't see it enough, and I love the fact to play it forward and what you're doing, all you're doing down there in Florida as GM.
Doing our best.
But I'm just happy to have you on here, and it was a good show. I had fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Some of the most fun guests we've had in a while. Definitely a lot more fun than Mr. Pickles, TJ Marconi. That guy was that guy was just like a mark for himself, I think. But
I missed that one.
No,
I didn't get.
Really
yeah.
I chugged so much pickles I didn't even like, and I chugged a lot of pickle juice. I didn't even eat supper.
That one ain't easy.
All right. Well, again, thank you. And to everyone watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming to Zoom Room. We will see you next time.
And we'll see you later.